Alright, this is our review for Test Prep 3 on the Scantron. And on this lesson, we're going to be using our skills with changing percents to decimals and then multiplying. Most of your problems on this lesson look like this. Find 23% of 5 2/10. I'm going to show you two ways to solve this. First, I'm going to show you with the really fast and easy way. First of all, we need to remember that of means multiply. So we put the multiplication sign under the of. Secondly, we need to change our percent to a decimal. So remember to do that, we put our pencil where the decimal is. We're going to bump twice away from the percent sign. Bump. So the decimal moves there. And the number becomes 23 hundredths. And we'll multiply that times the 5 2/10. So we just type it in our calculator.
1.1.
That's correct. Okay, so now the secondary way is to use our little formula with is over of equals percent over 100. Now, this particular way of working this problem out requires a little bit more work, but this can be beneficial to you in the next few days. We're working with problems that will not set themselves up like this. We can also use this sort of proportion method to solve ratio tables and find unknown numbers within those tables. So it's very beneficial for lots of reasons, so it's a good chance to go ahead and review it anyways. Some of your problems might not say simply find the percentage. It might say what is 23% of 5.2. So when it's worded in that way, you can see the is and the of and the percent that come in this formula. Okay, so let me remind you what to do. So we have to find the is. Well, there is no is. What is, which means the is an x. We don't know it. And then of, notice is the 5 2/10. Of 5.2 equals your percent. See, 23 is the percent, so you just put a 23. And remember, percent means out of 100, so that's why we put it over the 100, and we always put that 100 in that corner. Now from here, we can solve for x by using our little method called multiply up, divide down, if you'll remember that. We go diagonally, we multiply up, so 5.2 times 23 in your calculator. And if you'll remember with proportions, if this side equals 119 6/10, this side will also equal 119 6/10. So then I can divide down the other diagonal and find the answer. So I have 119 6/10 divided by the 100, 1.196, and notice it's exactly the same as what we said earlier. So for today's lesson, changing your percent and then multiplying, that's the fastest way to get your work done today. But if you have other questions later that say maybe 23 is 35% of what number? So when it changes and places the x in a different place, then you will need to set up your is over of is percent over 100. Okay, so we're going to try another sample. We're going to find 175% of 105. Okay, so we will use the more basic way on all the rest of these problems today, and we'll only go back to our is over of formula when other problems require it. Okay, so we start by remembering that of means multiply. And then we want to change our percent to a decimal. So we'll put our pencil where the decimal goes. And then we're going to bump away from the percent sign. Only 2 bumps. Even though there's 3 digits, we're only moving it twice. 1, 2. So we have 1 75/100 times 105. And we get 183 75/100. Does anyone have a question?
Oh, that's 75.
How is it? 75? Okay, so then we'll have some questions that are word problems. I'm not going to write incomplete sentences just to save time and space. So they're basically problems about people who work in a store. You know how sometimes you get a discount if you work in a store. So if your discount is, say, 12%, and the price of the shirt that you want to buy is $25, what's the amount of the discount that you'll get on your shirt? So this problem is actually set up the exact same way that we've been setting up the other problems. To find the discount, we'll just take 12% of the total, which was 25. So now we follow the same procedure. Change our percent to a decimal, bump. So that's 0.12, which is 12/100 times 25. Type it in our calculator, and it'll be a $3 discount. Now, if on the Scantron it takes it a step further, it might say, how much will you pay for the shirt? So if you get a 12% discount of the price, which is 25, how much will you actually have to pay? What's the next thing that we'll have to do, Trey?
Subtract.
Yeah, we'll have to take our total, subtract the discount, and then we'll know that we're paying 22 bucks instead of 25 bucks. Okay, so sometimes you can look at this as if it's a sale, because if you're a customer, let's say you have a coupon for a product. So if your sale is 25% off of, let's say, the pair of jeans you want are 62 bucks. What is the discount? Okay, so then I'll take 25% of the total, which is 62, so that I can find the discount. Same thing I've been doing. Bump, make a decimal. So we get 25/100 times 62. And for this problem, when I multiply that, I get 15 5/10. But since it's money, your answer might look like this, which is $15.50. Adding that 0 does not change the value. So that's our discount, $15.50. Is that what I'm going to pay? I'm not paying $15.50. That's my discount. If I want to know what I'm going to pay, I have to go back to that $62 and subtract my discount. Okay, one other type of problem. This time, let's say your discount is 34%, and you want 2 items. And your items, let's say one item costs $12, and the other item is $53. So what will your discount be? Okay, so this time, because I want 2 items, there's something I have to do before I can set up my problems. Aiden?
Do you multiply 34 by 2?
That's a good guess. No, we're not multiplying yet. Allison?
Add 12 plus 53.
All right, so we're going to take this 12 and 53, and we need to add those two. So 12 plus 53 gives me 65. So okay, so now that we've added to see that our total is going to be 65, now we set up our problem the same way. We want 34% of 65. So we will bump to get our decimal of 34 hundredths times 65. And when we type that in our calculator, we get $22.10.